So yeah. Okay. So do you want to introduce yourself?
It's Jim Parks.
Jim Perks. Sorry.
Jim Parks, yeah.
So you said you were in the service for
Almost 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Army, Marine, Army.
U.S. Army, yeah. All my brothers were in as well.
Okay. How many brothers did you have?
I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. Big family.
Yeah.
You from the area? You from the Ozarks?
No, actually, we were originally from Wisconsin.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
What part? Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee area.
Interesting fact. Our parent Midwest is its own company, but
Yeah.
we are part of another company in Madison, Wisconsin, and all our salespeople are up there right now at the sales conference in the Dells. So
Now, which is that?
it's called Midwest Family Broadcasting, which is the
Okay.
radio group that the Cave is under. Q102.
you know Keith
Bob.
Abercrombie?
Yes, Keith. Yes,
Keith's a good friend of
Yeah,
mine.
Keith's a great guy. I
Yeah,
miss him
super.
dearly.
Yeah.
Awesome
Good
guy.
friend of mine.
Yeah.
I've known Keith for years, him and his wife.
Yeah, she's a doll.
Terry.
I saw him at the because
Yeah, she's like a little pin-up doll.
yeah, still.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
Yeah. Throw that in there for you, Terry. I always ask him. Every time we have a small group that we meet on Sunday nights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe once a month. You know, from church, and he'll come. Keith will come in with his wife, and I say, "Hey, I'm glad you brought your daughter with you." And he just looks at me. She squeezed me.
Yeah, she's so nice. I really like
she's
her.
a sweetie.
Yeah, she is. I saw him at a baseball game last year.
Yeah.
The last time I saw him. So you were in 12 years.
Yeah, went to Fort Leonard Wood when I was 18. Went through basic training there. Went to MP school. Mm-hmm. I was a military police. Well, I was a police commander in Nuremberg for a while.
Oh wow.
But I was in the MPs most of my career. I got to Vietnam. I the colonel came out and he says, "What do you got a 95 MOS?" I said, "Yeah." "I don't need no stupid cops over here." He says, "What are you gonna do? Direct traffic in the jungle?" He pointed at a hill and he says, "There it is. Get on it." OJT.
Wow.
He was sick. He was sick.
I bet.
It was a rough ordeal, but that's all behind, man. I put that behind me years and years ago. I
Yeah.
got 2 brothers that are still affected from it.
Yeah.
They get 100% disability for PTSD. Mm-hmm. They're both younger than me,
Wow.
and they were younger when they went over there.
Yeah.
So they came back adverse condition, you might say, And I just put it all behind me years and years and years ago. Mm-hmm. It's been over 45 years now.
Yeah.
Going on 50.
Yeah. I know.
Long time.
So, what, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of business did you get back in when you came back after you were done?
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
Yeah.
You stayed in the.
Yeah, I stayed in it.
Staying in it.
I stayed in it. I was at the Greene County Sheriff's Department. Left there in '96.
Mm-hmm.
I was down in Tucson, Arizona. Did law enforcement down there for about 12 years.
Yeah.
11. Yeah, about 32 years altogether, and then I just decided I'm done. So I went out and drove a semi for a while. Did this, did that, drove a tour bus, just something to keep money
Busy.
rolling in,
Yeah.
but not me rolling out so
Yeah.
much.
Gotcha.
So now I'm fighting stage 3 lung cancer.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, it happens. It was my choice of life.
Yeah. I can't remember what there was an author that always said, because I used to smoke until about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still have this thing, which I don't know if it's got to be a little bit better. You know what I mean?
If you're not smoking anything else than that, then yeah, it's doing something
I
for
think
you.
it's got to be better, but yeah.
I could never figure out why they would give somebody nicotine to get them off of nicotine.
Doesn't make
That's
a
what
whole
those
lot
are.
of-
That's
yeah.
all you get. You don't get all them other chemicals, but you do get the nicotine.
Yeah, and the other thing is, one day I could just pick up cigarettes again and not miss a beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a very, very strong point. Very strong point there.
Takes a lot.
So, what made you want to enlist?
I enlisted right out of high school. We had the Cuban Missile Crisis going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy was in office. And my brothers, 2 older brothers, went in the Marine Corps. And myself and the other two brothers all went in the Army. So they were seagoing bellhops, you know. We decided to fight instead of prance around in our white hats and, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Makes sense.
There you go, Bob. One of them is just turned 77 last month. That's my brother Bob. He's the oldest. He's 77.
Still in Wisconsin?
No, he's in North Carolina, up in the mountains, relaxing.
I bet. That's a great place to relax. That's a great place to relax.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think, you know, my stepdad was in first the Marines, and then he went to career in the Army.
Yeah.
And the thing that always interested me with him was you've got to, at least from my perspective, and I don't know anything because I never had to go through it, but I would think that you would always want to have a little bit of home with you. You know what I mean? Like with him, I would, they had a sat phone, and I could get him stuff, music, and talk to him and stuff like that. And I think it's a lot easier now to do that than it was when you were in.
Yeah.
And what were the things that you guys did?
If I wanted to call home, I had to call home. My mother would answer the phone, and I'd say, "Hi, Mom, over." You know, until I said over, she couldn't say nothing. And then she would say, "Hi, honey, how are you? Over."
And then that's how
they had a switcher in the middle. You know,
just
it was
push it
radio
back in.
waves that we used. There was no cell phones or nothing like this back in the 60s.
And you couldn't email them. You couldn't email video stuff.
No.
Could you guys listen to records? Did you have radio? I mean, how did that?
Oh, we had good stereo systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cheap too in China and over in the Far East.
Yeah.
They were cheap.
Yeah.
You get a big IKEA system, you know, I mean, huge, big speakers for $110, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Something you'd spend $1,200-$1,500 on today, you could get for $100 back then.
You know, it's amazing the size, like you said, the size of stereo equipment now. I mean, you can get a Bose little old system, you know, now
Exactly.
that'll just
Sounds just like that great big
yes,
speakers.
absolutely. You don't need them
Doesn't
great big speakers.
doesn't weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah,
a
you don't have to
speaker.
lug them around and hawk them when you need some money.
Yes,
Yeah, I grew up through all of that.
So you guys you hear about movies like Good Morning Vietnam? Was that kind of the thing when you guys all listened to radio over there?
When I got back from Vietnam in '65, second time back. No, it was the first time back in the late '60s, '69, '70, right in that area. Good, not Good Morning America. The one with Donald Sutherland.
What is that one? I always think the Robin Williams one.
Yeah, I know.
MASH.
MASH, yeah, the movie, yes.
The movie MASH, when that first came out, me and a couple of buddies of mine that I was in the service with went to see that in downtown Milwaukee at a theater, big theater. I was in there 5 minutes and got up and left. I couldn't deal with it. They were making fun of stuff that I had just come out of, where the real blood was dripping off the table.
They were trying to
And
make
they're
light
up
of
there
it.
making a big crack and good time of it, right? And cracking jokes and all this.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with it. I just up and out the door.
I can understand that.
My buddies both came out later too. You know, within another 5 minutes they were out too.
So, like, I get that's a solid point. Do you think that maybe they were trying to not to be disrespectful, but in certain my mom's a nurse, and nurses are famous for having the worst sense of humor and being so bad about gross things. I mean, can you imagine growing up with my mom? It was everything that you would get embarrassed about as a boy, she would just make light of and make fun of me about because she dealt with it every single day.
Sure.
And I think that, like with MASH, do you think that was kind of a way that at least those doctors having to deal with that day in and day out, eventually you kind of have to make a choice. Do I try to make as much so I don't just destroy my mind and deal with this all the time? Do I try to make light of it? Or was it a different...
That's a possibility. I never really looked at it that way, you know. But I had just gotten back. I was back in the country less than a month when I went and saw that movie.
Yeah, and it's still pretty fresh.
It was all fresh.
Yeah.
It was all fresh. And I just didn't want to deal with it. So I thought, well, let's go drink some beer or something.
Yeah.
You know. Find something better to do.
How did you, if you don't mind me asking, what were the things that helped you put it behind you?
Time, mostly. Time.
Let it heal?
Yeah. Just don't talk about it, don't think about it, you know.
Don't dwell on it.
I mean, I was diagnosed with PTSD back in Well, it's been at least 20 years, 20, 25 years. I didn't even bother with the VA when I came back. We were the boogeyman, you know. I didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Now I get all my health care through the VA. I'm on the Agent Orange list, you know, I got stage 3 cancer right now, but I don't know if that caused it. I got to do more research. You know, could have been. But yeah, I just leave it behind.
Let it go. I know my grandfather.
My kids ask me questions about stuff all the time, you know, and I might go a little bit further into detail with them about some things than I would anybody else. I just don't want. I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know.
I know my grandfather was the same way with World War II. He didn't talk to, because I have 3 uncles and a aunt, and he never spoke a word about it to them.
Yeah.
And then when I was, I want to say 14 or 15, I had some kind of assignment that I had to do about pick a relative and talk to him about something. And of course, he was the first one that I thought of.
Yeah.
So I went to him, and I was the only one he ever talked to about it, ever.
Is that right?
Ever. And really, the only thing that he ever, where the conversation ended was when he started to talk about his friends. That was pretty much where he was done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where he was at with it. And it's a hard thing. You know what I mean? But I think we all deal with it differently. You know, my stepfather was diagnosed PTSD after he got back from Iraq, and that was his second time over there. And he's now, it's taken years and years and years, and he was bad off when he came back. Really, really, really bad off.
Yeah. Yeah,
And he was career, so he wasn't like something he wasn't used to. You know what I mean? It was just this time, for some reasons, either something happened or that was just all of it at once. Just finally came crashing down around him. But he's good now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a pretty rough patch for him and my mom for a few years because of that. But
yeah, my wife. I've been married to my wife for over 40 years now. And we've gone through up and downs and stuff, you know, things that, and she never even connected any of it. Our rough spots over, 40 years of marriage, you're not on Pinky Street every day.
yeah,
You know, you're gonna have your ups and downs and goes and comes and whatever not. And I just, even if I did something, it was just stupid, just dumb. Why'd you do that? She would get all over me about it, and then I just sit back, and in the back of my mind, I said, "Yeah, I did that in Vietnam," or I said something like that then, But I never said nothing to her about that.
yeah,
So she still doesn't know to this day
yeah,
what it's, really what it's like. She can't comprehend it because she's never been in it.
yeah.
Nobody can comprehend something until they've been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you walk a mile in my shoes.
Absolutely.
And then criticize me.
Absolutely. And even to go further, I think it's all an individual. I think the guys that you were with experienced it differently.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
even if you
Everybody
were
did.
there, you might not have had the same experience coming out that you had. You know
I went
what
to
mean?
high school with a guy named Gary Wetzel, Wetzel. He's a Medal of Honor winner. Got a Medal of Honor in Vietnam. He just went, and I know him. I went to high school with him. We were buddies. He went ballistic one day and just went at the enemy and saved his platoon, wiped out the enemy.